Any questions? Welcome, everybody. This is the 1230 1960s class. Woohoo! And today we are doing Glenn Campbell's iconic Gentle on My Mind. Now, is this a hard song? No, this is a pretty easy song. So we are going to do some extra presets. Those of you that have the Gentle Mind background, the Gentle Mind music style, use it because there are some, it's just the signature background for this song, and it's the perfect setup, absolute perfect setup. And then you're going to get all kinds of good presets for it. See, all you got to do is go up and down the numbers, and you're going to get some fabulous setups for this.
All right.
The rest of us who don't have that, what are we going to do? Well, I had fun with this song. And I thought, what am I going to do? It's 4 verses, and he doesn't do anything really different. He's just singing the song and telling the story. So what am I going to do differently? I did a 4 preset setup, which would be just changing it at the end of every verse. And then I did another 3 preset setup, where I did 1 verse up here and 1 verse down here. And then I did a 2 preset setup where I'm doing 1 up here, 1 down here, and the next preset 1 up here, 1 down here. That's your 4 verses. And then I did another 3 preset setup. So I'm going to give this to you, and it's going to have all the A setups, and it's going to have all the B setups, and all the C setups, and all the D setups. So you could, in effect, put 4 setups to Gentle on My Mind in one file, just by putting them in A, B, C, or D. Then you'll have 4 different setups. And then when you save the file, when you save it to your stick, if you decide to do so, you will now have 4 setups for Gentle on My Mind on your stick.
I'll be all day doing it.
Huh?
I'll be all day doing it.
No, you won't. These are easy.
Yeah.
But
Dawn, can I stop you for a second?
yeah, you can.
What style should I look for?
No worries. A lot of the styles that I'm choosing, you have.
Right.
Yeah. So you're going to be using the train.
Ah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one's going to work.
I was thinking.
Yeah. You are also going to use your country full band, which is Roadside Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also going to use your rinky tink, and that one is one of your hidden rhythms.
Right.
So you have to go in and find where, I can't remember which song it actually is, which song setup it is, but it is one of your hidden rhythms. You do have rinky tink. So you actually have 3 that you can have some fun with.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
Okay?
you. Thank
And
you.
you've got lots of guitars to choose from.
Yeah.
You can use your country guitar and your harmonica. You can also use a jazz guitar, and it's going to work absolutely beautifully fine. Okay? You can use some fiddles if you want. How do you make fiddles on a smaller instrument? You go to violin and hit duet.
Oh, how smart.
And what tempo are we going to go at?
Aha! Now that's a different story, and you're going to be working with 2 tempos.
Okay.
It's actually going to come out the same, but one's going to be double the tempo of one to make them work. Okay, so that's going to be part of the lesson today.
Okay.
Doubling the tempo.
That's one thing I'm going to learn today.
Yeah.
There it is.
See, there's your one thing.
Right.
Just a couple quick questions too.
Yes.
What machine?
I was just curious. You play to the dots on all 3 verses, and then you go all the way to the coda, and then play the 4th.
We'll go over the roadmap.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll go over the roadmap as well. It's basically verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, and then the coda is the end of verse 4.
Right. Then you go to the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
And
pretty
I
cut and dry, but we will absolutely go over the roadmap and make the colors so we know exactly where we are. This one was
It's difficult to match the rhythm, but anyway, I use mellow. A couple times. I don't know What else?
Mello's not going to
Discovery.
give you, I don't think Mello's going to give you the oomph that the song needs. Go
Well,
to a country background and see what there's going to be better. Tom, what do you have? A Freedom 3?
Discovery 3.
You've got a Discovery 3. Huh, okay. Email me so that I have your email. I think I already do, but just
Yep.
email me and say what background should I use, and that way I'll answer your email and I'll go to a
Okay.
Discovery 3 and I'll find exactly what one is going to, or 2 or 3 are going to be the best for you.
Thank you.
What size machine does Hal have?
I think Hal has an easy 10.
Okay, so I got a 4.
You've got now you've got hidden rhythms. You can use, Fred, you can use the country full band, which is Roadside Cafe. That's your country full band. You can go in and you have 2 hidden rhythms. Train is a hidden rhythm. She'll be coming around the mountain, I think gives you Train. And you've
Yes.
also got a hidden rhythm, and I can't remember which one it is going to give you Rinky Tink.
Okay, I'll find
In
it.
the
Yeah,
country.
it's in there. It's in there.
It's
I'll look
in the
for it again
country.
too.
Dawn,
Yeah.
the rinky tink is in the country pianist on mine.
Oh, okay. All right. Try Country Pianist, Fred, and see. That might be your Rinky Tink.
I do have that.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
But the train you
And
got to
then-
find in your.
And
your
then
hidden
if he
rhythm.
Yes, I
wants,
know the
if he
tune.
wants the train, that comes up on mine as Broadway guitarist.
Yeah. See, he doesn't have that.
She's
He's
gonna
got to go
Okay.
into the hidden. He's got to go to a song setup.
Okay.
Yes.
No worries. Now, I thought Glenn Campbell wrote this song.
Hartman.
He did not. Imagine my surprise when I looked up and saw, who's this John Hartford guy? So it was written and originally recorded by John Hartford in 1967. He composed the song. His inspiration for the song was after watching Dr. Zhivago in 1966, and it inspired him along with his own personal experiences. Okay, so, here Dr. Zhivago has 2 loves of his life, and he's always going after the one. And so if you read it, it'll kind of make sense. It'll kind of make sense.
I have to admit, it was amazing that he could dance, play the banjo, and sing at the same time.
Yep. Now, this song caught the attention of Glenn Campbell, and he covered it along with studio musicians called the Wrecking Crew, who happened to be the paid musicians that kind of lived at the music studio out in California where he was. His version peaked at number 30 on Billboard's Hot Country Singles. And in 1968, the song earned him 4 Grammy Awards. Wow. It was later covered by other artists. Dean Martin did it. Aretha Franklin did it. That surprised me. Frank Sinatra did it. Andy Williams and Elvis Presley.
Oh my
And it has become, here's your trivia for the day, the second most played song on the radio in the United States. I wonder what number 1 is. But this one, Gentle on My Mind, is number 2. Interesting. The song was written in less than a half an hour.
For heaven's sake.
Less than a half an hour. Hartford described the song as a banjo tune without a chorus. Interesting. So it's basically just 4 verses in a row. So it's a banjo tune with no chorus, and it became a hit and won all kinds of Grammys, so who knew? So the one connecting thing is going to be, for all my arrangements, is going to be one thing: the banjo. The banjo. So that's the main thing that stays constant in all of these arrangements. All right, first of all, let's do the roadmap. Okay, so verse 1. And it's funny, now when you start thinking about Dr. Zhivago, when you're listening to the lyrics, it'll start to make a little bit of sense, too. It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk that makes me tend to leave my sleeping bag rolled up and stashed behind your couch. And it's knowing I'm not shackled by forgotten words and bonds, and the ink stains that have dried upon some line, that keeps you in the back roads by the rivers of my memory, that keeps you ever gentle on my mind. First ending. It also says second ending, 1, comma, 2. And that first ending continues on the next page for 3 measures.
Mhm.
And then you've got some dots. Where do the dots go back to? The
Beginning.
dots at the beginning. So you make those the same color. Now, if you know that that's a C at the end of this line, and you know that the first ending only has a couple of measures of C's that you're going to hold, and then you're going to play the pickup notes and start again, do you really need to turn the page? No, because you know you're just going to hold it for a while and then come back here, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah,
so now
yeah.
the second verse,
One couple G's.
clinging to the rocks and ivy planted on their columns now that bind me, or something that somebody said because they thought we fit together walking. Oh, interesting. And it's just knowing that the world will not be cursing or forgiving when I walk along some railroad track and find that you're moving on the back roads by the rivers of my memory, and for hours you're just gentle on my mind. Second ending is the same place,
Mhm. Oh,
right? So the
Okay.
dots, you can make them a second color if you want, but where are they going back to? Same place.
Beginning.
Same
Beginning.
place. Yeah.
Right at the
So
beginning.
now you can do verse 3, which is going to be the same, only this time, and if you want to know the lyrics, they're over here on that 4th page. So this time, you can put a colorful 3 right before that first ending, and then you can put an arrow that says, turn the page. And you're going to turn the page, and then the 3, make it that same color. But once again, it's a C that's just going to hold for a few measures. Once again, same thing. And then you have 2 thin lines and a DS all coda. So now those 2 thin lines I can make, whoop, I need a different color. And where's that going back to? The
Coda.
silly sign.
Silly sign.
The silly sign. Where's the silly sign? Same place.
Yep, right at the beginning.
So if you don't really feel like turning that page, you don't have to. All you know is you're going to be playing it 4 times, right? The fourth time, all you need to know is you're going to go to the coda. So you need another color, and the 4th time is to coda. And that's at the top of page 71. Now you turn the page, make your coda the same color, and then finish the song. I hate to tell you guys, it's exactly the same. So what you could do is you could just play these 2 pages and just remember to hold that bottom part for a couple of measures, and then come back and play some pickup notes and do it 4 times. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's the same thing. Even when you come back to here, it's exactly the same notes and the same chords.
I like that.
So why did they stretch it out this way to land on 4 pages instead of just putting everything on 2 pages? Well, first of all, they couldn't quite fit everything on because they're already squished up a lot, and they would never have had room to put the verses. And as you can see, they did print the verses here.
Mhm.
So that's why they stretched it out. I would hate to have to be an arranger of the print of the music to make sure that it stays on 2 pages or 4 pages and make it fit. That's, wow, what a tedious job that would be. It's more fun just to sit down and play it. All right, any question about the roadmap?
And the tempo you played it at?
Not there yet, but yes, the tempo is, we're going to have 2 tempos, a fast one and a slow one. Ooh, why? Because we're going to play it all the same. We're going to play it absolutely all the same. And the first thing that people should do is go to their song setup and see if it's there. Now, in this instrument, song setup brings it up to bluegrass. Bluegrass at 110. At 110. Well, I thought that was a bit fast. But you're not really playing it at 110. You're actually playing it at 220. Whoa, what does that mean? Because if you follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I were to play it like that, that's playing it at 110. Play it the way it feels, which is double that. So you're doubling this, even though it's playing at 110. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 and 3 are going to be your downbeats. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. See what I'm doing? Now, I think that's a little bit fast. So in my arrangements, I'm bringing it down to 105, which means I'm actually playing it at 210 beats a minute instead of 220 beats a minute. Is anybody not understanding these numbers? If I put it on the train, which is my first, take it off bluegrass. You can play it on bluegrass if you want, but I'm putting it on the train because everybody's got that one. And I'm doing some things to it. I'm actually going to rhythm preset 6. If you wanted to, you could go to country 1, which is going to give you a country guitar. But I'm just using rhythm preset 6. I'm putting it on a country guitar or a Hawaiian guitar. I'm using what's there. I am doing some editing of style. Because when I'm using the train, first of all, let's talk tempo. The first thing I was listening for was the bass. Bum, 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 bum. And it's going on every beat that's here at 105. 1, 2, 3, 4. But remember, I'm going to play it 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm actually playing it at 210 beats a minute. I'm counting double each time I see this go around. If it's at 105, I'm playing it at 210. But the train, you're going to put at 105. Now, if you're using country, full band, roadside cafe, that one you're going to put at 210. So this is where we're going to play it all the same tempo. But the tempo that you set for the rhythm that you're using, you may have to do at half speed, 105, or double speed, 210, to make it work. And again, what are we using? Our ears. Let your ears be your guide. The train goes at 105, roadside cafe, which is country full band, at 210. I am going to have you do some turning on and off of things. So I'm going to use rhythm preset or vintage number 6, which is actually a Hawaiian guitar and a saxophone. And if you feel like going to the lower keyboard, this is where your creativity is going to come in too, is every single verse can be something different. And if you want, different can be the lower keyboard. Or you can just keep it on the upper keyboard. And then every verse, I'm going to do something a little different. So let me play it on one of my rhythms, one of my preset styles, the train at 105. Now, when I first start, I'm turning off the Genie or Basic and leaving the Orchestra Plus on. Why? What is that Orchestra Plus? It's the banjo. Remember I told you the banjo is going to be the string that goes through all of these backgrounds. So the banjo in the train is in the Orchestra Plus, so you're going to leave that one on. And I'm looking for that bass. Okay, and I'm just gonna play C for a while, then I'm gonna go to the next preset. Now I'm gonna add in some fiddles. Where's the fiddles? They're in the genie. So now or the basics. So now I'm turning that on. I'm also editing my style because it was in there in some of the Work Plus, and I'm adding some of that back in. I'm also adding some strings to my sound. Verse 2. Go to the third preset. I'm going to go to the lower keyboard. There's more stuff going on in the background. I'm doing some more edit styling. And I can go to the top if I want. I'm going to go to the fourth preset. I added a harmony, but what else did I do? I moved up an octave just to give it a different tonality. Why? Because we can. There's a train. That's the whole song. That's it. And then you can do your ending if you want. So the train works really well, and I'm just adding some strings, adding duet, changing an octave, going to a lower keyboard. These are all the creative things that you can do. Now, the harder things that I'm doing on some of the bigger instruments is editing the style. So I just get banjo, and then I add some fiddles, and so I'm doing that through editing of style, and that's all listed here on the sheet. And if you're unsure about how to edit your style, you can either email me or call me, or go to your favorite store and talk to your favorite PA and have them show you how to do that on your instrument. So that is the train. Yes, Barb.
Did you put it, have an intro for that?
I did not. You can use I could have just used the train intro. That would have been fine.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Because I'll tell you what, this one's kind of tough to do an intro with, because
Yeah.
if you listen to the original, it's got its own twang, a twang, a twang, a twang, a twang. And if you have one of the larger instruments and you have the background gentle mind, use it. That's your
Yeah.
is your
That's it.
intro. That's it. That is the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd that intro go? How'd that intro
A twang,
go?
a twang, a twang, a twang, a twang. I knew you were going to make me do that again, Fred. Yeah. So, yeah, if you don't want to be a twanging, you just use that train intro. It would be absolutely fine.
I didn't hear any chord changes.
You didn't?
No,
Did you see my hand moving, Stan?
no.
No? I was probably hiding my hand. Yes, there are chord changes for almost every measure that's written. However, this is country music, but we are going to do some walk down chord changes. So yes, I'm going to have you write some in. And remember, they're all optional, but we're going to do a C chord for one measure, and then over the G for the word door, the first measure of the first beat of the next measure, it's a C major 7, C and B. The next measure, line 2, measure 1, over the G for open, it's a C6. Now a C6 is a 4-fingered chord. C chicken, E elephant, G gorilla, and A alligator. Second line, second measure, over the G for the word path. It's a C major 7, back to the C and B. Or if you want to do the full fingered chord, it's C chicken, E elephant, G gorilla, and B butterfly. So my hand is doing this. Okay, it's just walking around that C chord. The easy way is just play C and go. But yes, those are your chords for the first 2 lines, and then it resolves to the D minor. Now we're going to do a walk down with the D minor. All right, line 3, measure 1, 2, 3, 4, the last measure in that line. Over the F for the word leave, put in a D minor major 7, D little m, capital M-A-J 7. And that is a D minor, which is D and F, with a C sharp on the bottom. So it's C sharp, D, F.
Dawn, hold up.
Yeah.
You said the word leave. Oh, I see it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, could you say that all again? I'm sorry.
Yep, it's on line 3, measure 4. First beat of the measure, over the F for the word leave, is a D minor major 7. So it's a D minor chord with a major 7. Remember, the major 7s are always the letter -1. So if you've got a D minor chord, D and F, you're just going to put your little pinky on that C sharp. And that's a D minor major 7.
So that's C sharp. What were the other notes?
C sharp, D, F.
Okay. Got it.
Then the next line, first measure over the word bag, D minor 7. So it's going to be C chicken, D dinosaur, and F fish. So now that progression goes like this: D minor major 7, D minor 7. So it's just different forms of the D minor chord. Now, if you don't want to play those, just play D minor, just like it says. And then go to the G7 and the C. Let's go to the top of page 71. You're now on a C chord to start. Measure 3 over the G for shackled. Put in a C major 7, C capital M-A-J 7, which is C and B. Or if you want to play the full fingered chord, then you just got to move one finger back and forth between the 7 and the 6. So the C major 7 over shackled. Line 1, last measure, C6, which you have to play the 4 fingers. C, E, G, A.
Where was that?
That's the last measure of the top line.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Second line, first measure over the word bonds. go back to a C major 7. So you can see if you're playing the full fingered chords, it's a lot easier, actually. See how I'm just moving my thumb?
Dawn, I missed that chord on the fourth major on line 1 there. I missed that.
Fourth measure of line 1 is a C6. C6. Remember, sixes have to be in root position, and it has to be 4 fingers. So it's C chicken, E elephant, G gorilla, and A alligator.
Got it.
All right.
Now, I know you've said the C major full chord a couple of times. I didn't write it down, but it looks like it's going to work real well with the C6. Can you tell me what those are again?
Yep, the
I
C
know it's C
major
and B.
7. The
Yeah.
C major 7 is C chicken, E
Yeah.
elephant, G gorilla, and B butterfly. If you're
Okay,
playing
got
it
it.
the easy way, it's just C and B.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you have to add, if you just play that C chord, C, E, G, then you can add the 7, the 6, and the 7. And just move your thumb.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, next measure. Over ink stains. Over the G for ink, put a plain old C. Now, you're going to have to, you can't just lift a thumb, you're going to have to play either the C, E, G, or just play pinky on C. You cannot subtract fingers and expect a chord to play on easy play instruments. You have to release and play like just the C or C, E, G. Second line, third measure. It's a C, but it's a major 7. C and B, or C, E, G, B. So it's some form of C. So as you can see, if you were playing easy play and you just want to play C, that's fine. That works. Then the D minor for one whole line. Line 4. First measure, first beat. Over back roads, put a D minor 7, which is C, D, F. Chickens, dinosaurs, and fish. Second measure, over the F for rivers, D minor, plain old D minor. So again, you cannot just pick up a finger and expect it to play. You have to pick up all 3 fingers and then put down the D and F. You can add a finger, but you cannot subtract a finger. Third measure, over memory, first beat. Go back to a D minor 7, C, D, F. Last line, first measure, first beat, over the F for the word keeps, D minor, D and F. Beat 3 of that measure, so you're going to be doing fast ones. Over the F dotted quarter note, put a D minor 7, or not, you can leave it on D minor, doesn't matter, going to the G7. And then you go to a C, and just leave it on C. Don't change any chords. Okay, let's go to the coda. That's the only thing we need to fill in yet. 72, coda, line 3.
Wait a minute. Where's that?
Page 72, third line. The cupped hands round a tin can. Second measure, over the G for the word tin. Put a C major 7, C and B, or C, E, G, and B. Sounds exactly the same. Third measure, over the G for the word tend, pretend to hold you. C6, which is C, E, G, A. Line 4, first measure, first beat, over the G for the word to. C major 7, which is C and B, or if you're playing full fingered, C, E, G, B. Why? Because it's just easier to move your thumb. then the D minor is good for the next line and a half. Let's go to the top of page 73. Line 1, measure 1. Over the F for back roads, put a D minor 7. C, D, F. Measure 2. Over the F for rivers, D minor, D, F. Remember, you have to completely lift before putting your D and F down. D minor 7 over in the third measure. Over the F for the word memory, put in a D minor 7. We're just toggling back and forth between those two chords. Second line, first measure, first beat. Over the F for smilin', D minor, D and F. And beat 3 over the F forever, it's a D minor 7, C, D, F. And that's it. The chords are not hard. Not hard. That's why I'm giving you a little bit of a challenge to do some editing of style, add some harmony, find your strings, now, here's the next one, golden harp. Let's do the rinky tink. C1 and 2. Rinky tink. All right, where do I have my...
Under, Dawn.
Huh?
What's rinky tink under?
Rinky tink is under country 1.
Okay.
Now, if you play it at 105, let's just do that just for fun. Keypad 105. That's where the last one was set. Too slow. So we're going to speed it up to 210. We're going to take that 105 and double it. So we're going to play it at 210. And again, what am I listening for? The bass player, boom, 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 boom. And in order to get that golden harp, I am starting with no Genie or Basic and no Orc Plus. So I've got the bass player and I've got the drummer and a lower chord. So now I'm going to add a golden harp. I'm going to go into the more, and I'm going to choose the banjo pattern. I'm going to go into the sound or the genius, and I'm going to scroll until I get to, guess what, banjo. It's number 315. That's all on here. So you can just dial in 315, touch your sound, and now when I play a chord, I'm going to have a pickin' banjo. Yeah. I'm using category country, sound number 1, which gives me a country guitar. Then when you go to the next, I've only got 2 presets here. You could go to the lower keyboard and play the next verse if you wanted. And then I could go to the next preset where I'm actually throwing in my basic, which gives me a guitar along with the banjo. And I'm adding a duet to my country guitar. And again, you can keep it in this octave or you can change octaves. So you have several things you can do. You can play this octave, you can play this octave, you can play the lower keyboard. And every time I change a preset, I'm changing up mostly the background, what's going on in the background. I'm adding to that banjo, but that banjo is the one thing that goes through all of the presets. I'm also tried it on Roadside Cafe, which is the country full band on the smaller instruments, and I'm doing it at 210. 210. I'm using Rhythm Preset 0, which is country guitar. I'm turning off my Orchestra Plus. I'm turning off my harmony. And I'm also using a golden harp for a banjo. Now, because we're at 210, the normal rate sounds terrible. So I'm changing the rate. I went into the more, I went to banjo, I went to genius or sound, changed it to number 315, but then I also changed it the rate to 1 per beat. Because if I'm on normal, it sounded like this. Pretty yuck. Way too fast. Okay. So I'm changing the rate to 1 per beat. And because we're going 210 beats per minute, it's going to pick up the pace and do some stuff for us.
Nice.
So the banjo still can be in that roadside cafe. And I did a couple of those with harmony changes and editing style, adding some stuff. All right, and the last one that I actually did was Texas Toe Tapper. If you ever wanted to use Texas Toe Tapper for something, and again, I'm at 210 beats per minute. I'm on number 0, but I'm starting with the duet off. I'm also editing style on this one. Why? Why am I editing style on this one? Because there's actually a banjo. If I had everything on, let's turn everything on here. There's your Texas toe. Okay, so what am I doing? Turning off the Genie Basic, and I'm turning off everything except the banjo in my background. So I've got the bass, got your drummer, and you've got your banjo picker. And it's a different guitarist. You notice I'm playing it basically the way he's singing it. You don't ever want to try to count those exactly even, because that's not how people sing. You play it the way you hear it being sung. Okay, so when I go to the next preset, I'm going to add the fiddle player, and he's being added in the Orchestra Plus. And I'm going to add the duet back into the top. Oop, I don't like it that high. Or I could have gone to a lower keyboard. So you've got the choices between your duets, your no duets, your octave, and your lower keyboard for any of these. And if I go to the third one, I'm adding in the Genie. I'm adding some strings, so I'm just making everything a little fatter. That's the whole song. These 2 pages are it. That is the whole song. So subtle changes you can do something subtle for every verse.
John, what was that tempo for Texas Toe Tapper?
210.
I like that one. That's good.
Yeah. So you're going to find one or two of those that you say, yeah, okay, I can live with that. That's pretty cool. And again, if you've got the gentle mind, that is the very best one to use.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. That is the very best one to use. So, but these are for the rest of us. And it also, again, what's it for? Gets you pushing the buttons. It gets you
And
figuring out.
What was that number for banjo? You said 300.
Banjo is number
315.
315.
Okay.
315.
Right. Okay.
And
Thanks.
you just dial
I have
that
a
in,
dumb question.
put it there.
When you're playing the general on the song setup, you don't go doing all those presets, do you?
Correct. If you're doing it on song setup, if you're doing it on song setup that has the gentle mind background, which you
Sure.
do,
Yeah.
now you can just go to your style setups or your normal setups, your vintage setups, and just go up and down the line and find ones that you really like.
Mm.
And I guarantee you, every time you change one of these presets, the background is going to get fresh and change something for you. It's going to turn on and off your basic genie. It's going to change your bass player. It's going to change your drum variation. And it's going to keep everything nice and fresh. So if
Yeah,
you've
so
got
you wouldn't
gentle
have to
mind,
do the presets with it.
yeah, just change a preset every
Oh,
time you change a
can?
verse.
Okay.
And listen or look and see, how much did it change my background?
Oh, okay.
Did it turn off my basic? Did it turn off my Orc Plus? Did it change my drummer? Did it change my bass player? Because sometimes just staying on your rhythm presets and going up and down the line will change every single one of those things. Why? Because Lowry just was Bill Curry and everybody at Lowry who designed all these, they were just geniuses at keeping everything fresh for you, for us, for the players. If we don't have that particular rhythm, can we just do that? Just go to Texas Toe and just go to the train and do that? Sure you can. Sure you can. You can do the same thing. Just go to your rhythm preset and play. Just find a couple of them that you like. But all this does, all my presets do, and I have 2 sheets for you, 4 different setups, is it teaches you where the buttons are on your instrument. And a lot of this today is about Golden Harp, and it's about editing style so we can keep that banjo picker.
Yeah.
And that's what this lesson is about. And Hal, did you learn about the tempos? 105?
Yes, I did.
Good. See, you learned one thing today. That's excellent.
Dawn,
Yeah.
D minor major 7 chord. Give me
D
your
minor
notes.
major 7, C sharp,
C sharp.
D, F.
Say again, C sharp.
C sharp, D dinosaur, F fish.
Okay,
And
thank you.
I missed one chord, Dawn.
Okay,
On page 70, the last line, the first measure.
first measure is D minor 7, C chicken, D dinosaur, F fish.
Got it. Thank you.
You're
Where
welcome.
did that G minor major 7th go? I don't,
The
I
D,
didn't.
no, it's not a G minor major, it's a D minor major 7. I think that's
Where
on
is it?
first page, line 3, measure 4, over the word leave. It's the only place in the whole song for that chord.
John, could I ask you a question?
No, of course you can.
You know I will anyhow, one way or another. To get that banjo number 315,
Mhm.
I don't know how to get to that 315.
Okay,
So what do I have to hit?
you go to the home page, you touch keypad, and you want your numbers. And I'm going to do 3, 1, 5. There's my banjo right there in my little finger. And I'm going to touch the genius or the sound in my golden harp. Boom. And now it's there.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
Got
Okay.
it?
Yes, yes.
Hey, That's the easy way to find it. Or you could just touch the sound, turn it blue, and scroll until you get to the B's and just stop at banjo.
Okay, got it. Thank
And
you.
that just takes a lot longer.
And it was so simple.
Yeah, it is simple.
Dawn. Dawn.
No, you don't have to touch anything after that. You don't have to. Once you touch it, it's there.
Yes.
Or once you scroll to it, it's there. You don't have to hit select or anything like that. Go ahead.
Dawn. Dawn.
Yeah, go ahead, Susie.
You was talking about the introduction. If we use one of your versions or the other versions, instead of Gentle Mind or the song setup, can we just memorize or change the tempo in maybe the other versions and use the intro from Gentle
Use the other
Mind?
versions. Sure, the train's going to be perfect. The faster ones may not be. Your faster ones may be too fast for the intro. Let's try one. That's okay. Yeah. That's
So
Texas
whatever-
Toe 1. Yeah. Go ahead and use the intro 1 or intro 2. Try them and see which one you really like. And use one that you like. And yeah, it doesn't matter. Either one.
But the one from Gentle Mind, is it kind of different if I wanted to stick it in? Maybe that's what you mean. In
Oh, now that's something different. You can take the intro from Gentle
That's what I-
Mind, put it in a preset, and then go to one of my other rhythms if you want.
That's what I'm talking about. And
Yeah,
then
you
just
can do that. Wow. See, you're thinking like an arranger.
I don't know.
Woohoo.
And then just adjust the tempo. If the tempo is different than yours, adjust it to that.
Correct. So it'll match. Yep.
And then that's memorizing them.
Yep. Yep.
And then
Adjust
did-
the tempo to match so that it's either going to be 105. It's probably going to be 105 because I think it's going to come up at 110. Drop it down to 105, and even if the rhythm here is at 210, it should be fine.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't want to. You got to listen to it. You don't want it to be racing. You want it to be the twang, a twang, a twang, a twang, twang, twang.
Okay. So then when I memorize, it's not going to take any of the sounds out of that, my original.
Well, what I would do is if you're following these, because I've got mine in A1, 2, 3, and 4,
Yeah.
B1, 2, 3. If you're going
Zero.
to put that in there, put it in A0. Put it in
Yeah,
that
zero.
0 slot. And then start with A0. And then when you kick into the song, go to A1.
So it won't, I just memorize like I usually do, leave the 0 in there and then go to A1, memorize.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good,
Okay.
good thoughts. Wow. Very cool. Yeah, we also have some, we're way over time. I do have fingering, although this is not hard fingering. This is easy fingering, but I will give it to you for those that need it. The rest of you, thank you so much for coming. Oh my goodness. This was a fun song to play. I really had a good time with this one, as you can tell.
Thank you, Dawn.
Good lovin'. Okay, that'll be next week. That is the Young Rascals, or maybe I think they were just called the Rascals by that time. Good lovin'.
What's the song next week?
Good lovin'.
Oh, Good Lovin'. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll see what we can do. I've never taught that one before either, so we'll see what we can do with that one. Those of you who need fingering, let's work. Pencils out.
Thank you, Dawn.
G4 all the way across.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, this is not hard stuff. G4 all the way across. Line 2, G4, 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 A5, G4, E3, D2, C1, D2. Now remember, do not play the song da 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 da. Don't do that. You got to play it the way you would sing it. Da 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 da. You know, you got to hold some of them. You got to sing it play it the way you sing it, and you will be right. All right, let's go to third line. F4, 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 F4. D2, F4, F4, F4. D2, F4, F4, F4. G5, E3, D2, C1, D2, E3. You might want to do a little check mark in the rest up here because now it's E2, G4. G4, 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 G4. E2, G4, E2, G4 all the way across. Next line, G4, E2, G4 all the way across. A5, G4, E3, D2, C1, D2. Pretty easy stuff. F4, 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 D2. Fourth line, F4, 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 D2, F4 all the way across, F4, 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 G5, E3, C1, D2, C1, C1. All right, let's turn the page. Your pickup notes are G4, G4. The third ending, C1. Pickup note G4. And the coda, just all repeat. This is easy stuff for right hand. G4, 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 G4. E2, G4, E2. G4, G4, G4. A5, G4, E3, D2, C1, D2. D2, E3, F4, 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 D2. F4, 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 D2, F4, 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 D2, E3. Guess what the F's are in the next line? 4. G5, E3, C1, D2, C1, C1, and that's it. The right hand on this one's pretty easy.
Yeah, it is.
It's just bouncing on the keys and play it the way you sing it.
I like easy.
Yeah, easy's good.
Yeah.
Easy's good.
Thank you, Dawn.
You guys are so
Thank
welcome.
you.
Enjoy your weekend.
We will see some of you on Friday. We do have class on Friday. And
Thank
next
you.
week we'll do good lovin'. And the rest of you go to the beach, have a wonderful time.
And you go to too.
Oh, I'm not allowed to go to the beach. I have to mow the lawn.
I know. Oh, sorry.
I got a lot of driving to get to the beach.
Oh.
Don,
Yes.
on the second page on the third line, on the third measure, there was a C major 7. Did you put another chord in after that?
No, the C major 7s are on line 2.
Yep.
Line 3, it's just a D minor all the way across.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
the
you
C
two
major
have-
7s are up in line 2. The first measure and the third measure are C major
okay,
7s.
got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then, yeah, the D minor goes all the way across in that third line. No extra chords.
Okay, thanks.
Better, but getting more down like.
Thank you guys for coming today. I love you all.
Thank you.